Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is AI the Somnium Files, and yes, our prime suspect is sitting right in front of us. Boss. But who is Boss really? That's what we're gonna try to find out today, so let's get straight into it and ask who the hell she is.
Saito Sajima. Congressman Sajima's son.
What?
That I already suspected. It's just that who is his real body?
I researched Saito thoroughly, but I cannot find any images of him on the internet. He is listed on the family register, but I cannot find any photographs.
I bet he buried everything after the killing of Iris's mother.
Fine. I still have time.
Time?
You'll see. So, where do you want me to start?
It's just past midnight on Tuesday. Shoko was killed on Friday. If we think of that as day 1, today is day 5. What was Saito doing those days? I decided to ask him. Her eyes looks clouded and dark. Let's just start from day 1?
Like you guessed, my personality was in Shoko, Renju's ex-wife. That made calling Renju easy. I need to talk to you about something. He came over without question. I think it was around 4 p.m. I had him meet me at the chemical plant. I made Renju go to sleep. Synced. Switched personalities. And then stabbed Shoko's discarded body with an ice pick. I took Shoko to Bloom Park by car, using the old abandoned subway line. Must have been around 8 p.m. by the time I was finished. I tied up Shoko to one of the merry-go-round horses. After that, I used Renju's phone to send a Nile message to Mizuki.
Mizuki, Daddy got caught up in something serious.
Then, I just waited for Mizuki to arrive.
Yeah, but why call Mizuki? Just to discover the body? Or to see her as a potential new host? Because of her extraordinary abilities. Her strength, her speed, everything. Ooh, I'm seeing a possible outcome here that I do not like. I don't want to see Saito in Mizuki's body. But yeah, day 2?
Until next Saturday evening, my personality was inside Renju. My next target was Iris. I knew she would be suspicious if I asked her to come to Kawasaki, so I asked her to come to Sunfish Pocket first. I called her a little before 5 p.m., and she arrived just after 6. I greeted her, then convinced her to come with me. That's when Ota saw us. Anyway, I put her in the car, then headed to the chemical plant. On the way, I made her take a sleeping pill. I knew she might run once she saw where we were going. It was around 7 p.m. when I got there, and I wasted no time switching bodies. After getting Iris's body, I used a rolled-up apron to strangle Renju to death. Then I put his body in an empty oil drum I'd prepared earlier. I put that in the trunk of the car, then headed to Sunfish Pocket. But then, something I didn't anticipate happened. Waiting for the signal in Akiba, someone knocked on the window of the car. It was Ota. He asked me something about being able to drive. He was surprised, to say the least. I didn't have time to waste on him, but I couldn't risk him finding the oil drum in the trunk. Plus, if word got around that Renju's car was spotted driving around Akiba, that would foil my plans. So, I came up with a lie. I told him that I didn't have a license, so we had to keep it a secret. That's what that thing referred to in Ota's Nile messages, by the way.
Ah. Finally, closure on some slightly unclear clues we had.
And just like that, I managed to escape a bad situation and headed to Sunfish Pocket as planned. The rest went exactly as you already figured out.
Alright, let's look at your Sunday.
Sunday morning, I had a recording or some such thing scheduled. Oh, I am of course referring to Iris. I didn't want to draw suspicion, so I decided to attend as planned. I went to Lemniscate and performed my job, and when I left, I ran into you, Date. To be honest, I was a little surprised. Just the previous night, I was a parasite in the body of Renju. I didn't think Ota had seen me. So, of course, I didn't expect to see you there so soon. You were on to me, but there was nothing I could do about that. If I ran, it would only increase your suspicion. So I decided to play my role. The interrogation began around 8:20 p.m., is that right? Then you synced into my mind. But you didn't get what you were looking for, did you?
Nope, we've got more questions than answers on that one.
As a result, you had no choice but to release me. I didn't want to go home right away. I knew there might be police waiting for me. That would make it difficult to sneak out at night. And that would put my plan in jeopardy. So I asked you to take me to Marble. I tried to find an opportunity to run, but then another unexpected event occurred. I got a Nile message from Ota. I knew I could use him. So I told him I needed his help and to meet me at Marble. He did as I instructed him to do. After that, I got into the van with Ota. But because his presence was unnecessary, I asked him to stop at a convenience store to buy me something to drink. When he was gone, I took his car and drove to my parents' house where I used to live. Yes, the Sejima residence. Of course, I knew I couldn't just walk up and ring the doorbell. Hello, Father, it's been a long time. I was also in Iris's body at the time.
There would be a double scare for So, seeing his long-lost daughter with his son in her mind. Damn. That's twisted.
But I thought I could use that to my advantage. So I pushed on the intercom and sure enough, my dad invited me inside. I told him this. I want you to come with me. There's something I need to show you. He was quiet for a while, but eventually agreed and got into the van with me. We arrived at the prototype sync machine around 11:50 p.m. By the time I was in the body of Sosajima, it was a new day.
I'm fearful of continue, because I think it's continuing the investigation instead of explaining what happened on Monday, so I'm gonna take that risk, because continue could also be a continuation of day 3. But yeah, let's just listen to day 4 first.
There isn't much to talk about on Monday. Before noon, I used my old man's body to call this one Boss. You might not know this, but she and my father go back about 6 years. The two shared a terrible secret. Hinting at that was enough to get the boss to come running to me immediately. I injected her with a sedative, then brought her body to the chemical plant. I synced with her, exchanged our bodies. And after blowing my father's brains out, I cut his body into pieces. I stuffed the meat into a vase I'd brought earlier, then drove back to my house.
Interesting. Creepy, but interesting. Okay, let's continue on.
This was yesterday, early Monday morning, past midnight. In my new body, I drugged Iris, put her in the van, and drove to a new location, Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. I arrived around 1, then prepared for the show for a couple hours. Of course, when I say show, I mean dismembering Iris. Because of the temperature in the warehouse, it took longer than I expected to prepare, but... well, you saw it in the video. Of course, I didn't anticipate Ota would show up. What does that make it? 3 times that brat has showed up unexpectedly? That annoyed me to no end, and I took that out on him. Dressing him up in the polar bear was an impromptu plan on my part. I didn't mean to make you think he was the killer. I just wanted to throw a wrench into the investigation. Didn't matter if you found out or not. This all happened Monday morning. I left the warehouse around 3:30 a.m.
Alright, continue on. Saito spoke with grace and no single sign of remorse. I was trying to keep my anger from boiling over and kept asking him questions. Still looks clouded over. Why did he take out the victim's eyes? Why did the sink victims resist after waking? I think I want to know why the victims didn't resist, but I think it is because they are still inside the bodies. They did not transfer to the other one.
Ah, the prototype sync machine has a special feature. It administers a strong dose of sedatives to the original body, and a stimulant to the host after a sync. That kept them docile.
Okay. They were just drugged. Okay, that's good to know. So, why did you display the bodies the way you did?
To harass you. I wanted to bring out the hatred in you. That's why I called Mizuki to Bloom Park. That's why I streamed Iris's murder. Because they were important to you, weren't they? I wanted you to feel cornered, trapped. I wanted to punish you, Kaname Date.
But why? That's the question here through the entirety of the game. Why? What is Date? Is he just an officer that lost his memory? Or is there something more? I'm betting there is something more. I want to know what it is. So why did you take out your victim's eyes?
You know all about the prototype sync machine, don't you? That should explain it.
I knew. The prototype sync machine differs from the one at Abyss in a few key ways. The machine at Abyss is more sophisticated. Nanocables from the sync gear enters through the gap between the eyeball and the socket. They then travel to the optic nerve canal to the brain. But the prototype sync machine isn't so advanced. To perform a sync, you need to remove the left eye manually. The subject and the sinker have to remove their eye from the socket. Otherwise, the cables cannot reach the brain. Of course, even with the eye removed, severing the connection to the brain isn't easy. The extracted eyeball still has the optic nerve and blood vessels connected. After a sync, the eye is supposed to be replaced back into the socket. It's supposed to be safe. Side effects are rare. Unless the nerve or blood vessels are damaged somehow. Replacing the eyeball isn't too difficult. So why did you take out the victim's eyes?
Of course, I don't really care about eyes. I don't need them. All I cared about was exchanging bodies with the sink. And for that, I needed to remove the left eye.
Why didn't you just put the eyes back when you were done?
That's obvious. Once I was finished transferring into a new body, the old one was of no concern to me. Why would I bother replacing the eye? I was just going to get rid of it anyway.
So just because you were sloppy. Damn. So where are the eyeballs that you removed?
Shoko's is in Renju. Renju's is in Iris. Iris's is in Dad. Dad's is in Boss. Their stomachs, I mean.
Okay. He ate them?
You sick bastard.
Yes, I ate them. Immediately after exchanging personalities.
How horrible.
Yes. Saito just crazy? So what's your motive?
Homicide is my hobby. I have a tenacity for it, what can I say? Of course, it was also necessary to make sure people kept their mouths shut. If I took over someone's body, they would know about my crimes. I couldn't risk them reporting me, so I killed them. It was also a matter of revenge. Against you. It's personal. That's why I chose people close to you as targets. Well, except for my father, of course. That was personal to me, but don't ask. It's embarrassing.
Revenge against me?
This series of murders was like a journey for me. You know, traveling through bodies to finally reach the end. That's the thing about traveling. You always wind up in the same place, don't you? Where do you think that is?
She wants to go back into my body.
Your home. A trip is only complete once you return home. The same goes for me. When I return home, my travels will come to an end. So I'll be needing it back. My body.
What?
You stole my body.
Yes, I knew it. Date is Saito. With a different personality in his existence, of course.
You took it from me 6 years ago. That's why I want revenge.
What are you talking about?
You have no idea what it was like inside my own head. I miss it. I miss my brain, Date. No matter how many people I killed, it never worked. I never felt happy. I feel miserable.
You mean?
He was born with a brain dysfunction. Due to damage to the posterior pituitary gland, he was unable to properly secrete oxytocin.
Oh, that's right. My old body. How are you finding it, Date?
Well, I think him being drugged by Aiba every once in a while, which they hinted at, never confirmed, is maybe what keeps him under control. Except when porn magazines are involved. This body is yours?
That's what I've been telling you!
But I don't have the same oxytocin deficiency you did.
That is because I regularly supplement it. They must have increased your dosage too much.
No, but the person who had this disorder was number 89. The original Cyclops killer.
That is what I believed as well. But we must have misunderstood. Pewter did not specify who exactly was imprisoned. Only that one of the original culprits responsible was currently in prison.
That's strange. That would mean number 89 is the previous chairman, Rohan.
No. They did not change him into number 89, right? Okay, we gotta continue with this, because my mind is going everywhere, but this part of the course for this game now. For the last, what, 4 or 5 episodes, my mind's been blown repeatedly with the revelations.
That must be it. Rohan is a parasite inside number 89's brain. Pewter must have known that.
No way.
I was confused. I didn't understand any of it.
Let us determine the specifics using Saito as our starting point. Whose brain was he in before Boss?
So Sejima.
And before So?
Iris. And before that, Renju. And before that, Shoko.
And before Shoko?
That's the question. I don't believe it's us. I think it must have been someone else in between. Yes, whose body were you in before Shoko?
I was a parasite inside Rohan's brain 6 years ago until last year. I'd lost most of my memories. I was a shell of a man. They housed me in a special hospital, but I still had those fragments of my mind left, just as I explained earlier. From a single piece, you can recreate the whole. I took my time, slowly regaining my memories. 1 year ago, I remembered everything. I left the hospital and immediately sought out Shoko Nadami. I got her body, and she was in Rohan's. When she saw herself in the mirror, she lost her mind. She was confused, panicking, running up the emergency staircase, and then...
That's why Rohan committed suicide.
After that, I spent a year perfecting my plan, using Shoko's body. I spied on you all this time. That's why I know everything about you.
Okay. Slightly creepy, I must admit. Who were you before Rohan?
In that body you are operating right now, in that skull, my personality lived there.
Wait, hold on. If what you're saying is true, what about my personality?
It was in Rohan.
I'm not Rohan!
Correct. It is just as he explained earlier. Number 89 was in Rohan's body. In other words...
That's... Am I real?
Oh my god. And we knew all from the start, that first sync, that tutorial sync, we saw number 89 over Hitomi's body. That was us. Dang, this game is so good. Oh, I'm connecting all the dots, finally. We still have a few more dots to go, but damn, this game is brilliant. It really is. keep talking while I try to process all this information.
Sorry, but time's up. I want my body back. It's quite simple. Sync with me and stay inside my mind for more than 6 minutes.
And if I refuse?
I know that you won't. I know it.
Huh?
Date, look! This is streaming live!
Damn you!
If you give me back my body, I will give you the location. Oh, and of course, it isn't the chemical plant in the Kawasaki district.
Aiba, where's the source?
It is being routed through numerous IPs. I cannot identify the source.
Pewter, contact headquarters, now!
Got it!
Now, what will you do?
What will you do? Damn, what will we do?
Will you agree to my request?
Obey Saito? Oh, what do we do? Because technically, if Falco is in if we are Falco, we have a relationship with Hitomi. Well, somewhere in our memories. That's why we have some affection for her. And of course, on the other hand, Saito killed Iris, another person important to me. You know what? There is a good chance that saying I won't and I'll do it are two different endings. I'm gonna go with refusal, like I won't do it. I wanna see what happens. And of course, just like we've done through this entire Let's Play, we'll do the other one as well, if it won't do it is an ending.
Date, I'm hurt. Don't you care about what happens to her?
Okay, we're gonna keep doing the I won't do it until we have a signal that it does not work, or until Hitomi dies.
Do you understand the gravity of this situation? A bomb is strapped to her body. You're too stubborn. Or maybe you're just cold-hearted.
You know, let's just say, it's the Saito side of me.
You want to see what will happen when her flesh burns and tears and scatters? If you aren't quick, you'll see the whole thing. You know I'm not bluffing, don't you?
Of course I know he's not bluffing. I didn't agree, no matter how many times he demanded of me. I refused again and again. Damn, you could actually see her being torn apart. And when I saw it, I understood. Boss's body rolled into the corner of the room. I didn't want to think anymore. Anything, nothing. I closed my eyes and ran my palm across my face. I could taste blood. Yeah. Bad ending. But it is an ending, nevertheless. You'd like to save? Yes, why not? Let's put it on another one. So, are you taking me back to the flowchart? Yes, you are. You are here. Okay, so let's begin again, and let's see if we need to go through the entire thing, or if we can continue from where we left off. So, yeah. I think we need to go through the entire process again, so like always, I'll see you at that point. Alright, and we are back, at this monumental moment of if we'll obey Saito or won't. We know what's happening. If I chose, I won't do it. Hitomi gets blown up. So I think now is the best time to just agree with Saito for once and say, I'll do it.
Date!
See? I knew you wouldn't refuse.
Well, technically I did, but you cannot remember.
I know you well, don't I, Date?
Police headquarters, Tuesday, 4:28 a.m.
I did it! I'm back. I got it all back!
Hey, where's Hitomi?
Alright, I'll tell you as promised. Boss's house. However, it might be too late by now.
What? Why?
Return my body and I'll tell you the location. That's what I said. I didn't lie. I kept my promise.
You bastard!
You're the one who injured that body. It's your own fault, really.
Damn it!
Be seeing you.
Computer. Yes! I knew it. Little mistake.
Date, are you alright?
Aiba's voice barely resonated. My eyesight was hazy, a heap of broken images. Sweat was building on my palms. It felt like my throat was closing up and I was struggling for breath. In my ears, the rushing blood of my heartbeat was the only sound.
Everyone's dead.
Shoko, Renju, Iris, Ota, Hitomi. Boss. The flesh remains, but the mind is lost.
I couldn't do anything. Saito had me right where he wanted me. Nothing. Nothing.
Well, what if we put him back in Boss's body? You know, just for laughs and giggles.
Parallel worlds exist.
The words suddenly echoed in my head. I couldn't remember who, where, why. But I thought that if there were really such a world, then me in that world, I is another.
Could I have had a better future?
I prayed that I could. I felt my consciousness sink into a black abyss. Okay, so this branch is now closed off as well as the ultimate bad ending. Saito back in his body, everybody dead, and I slowly dying on the floor. But like I said, what we could do, since Pewter is not out cold or anything, he could help us get Boss back in the chair and Saito as well, and put his brain back into Boss's body. And Date back into his, let us say, imitation crab one. So yeah, that would be an option to make it some slightly better, because Saito would lose his mind if he found out he was back into Boss's body. Or we could basically just, I don't know, get some injured body in there and put Saito in there. I don't know, that would maybe a little bit too cruel, but you know what I mean, so yeah. So, for now, this branch is over. The only thing we have left is the final one, and that's what we're gonna do next time. Yes, annihilation route, and yes. One route left, a few more steps. We're getting closer there, everybody. So let's put on a quick save and say our goodbyes. Okay, so next time we're going to continue on with the final branching path that we still have there, which was locked behind these scenes, this route. So I hope to see you all there then. Until then, I wish you all a great night, morning, day, wherever you are. Till next time. Bye bye.